Actually, I went to Bali, Indonesia because I had these insane dreams that really resonated with my heart, and I checked in with my higher self. I said, really, universe, you approve of this? And I kept seeing number signs and just a huge combination and feeling good energy, a huge combination of all the different mystical mediums that I feel like I'm contacted and that I receive positive information throughout my life simultaneously told me go to Bali. And I went, and it was amazing. Like, um, everything worked out. Like on the flight, there was someone that I had been hanging out with and connected with who ended up like was already assigned to be sitting next to me. It turned out like so many meaningful things. This it was 2 trips over the summer. I've videoed about it before, and I will again, I'm sure. But this these trips, I met someone that I've dreamt about, who I believe is my other half of my soul. And this person rejected me, and yet, you know, like they said, "Oh, I don't want to be with you." And we kissed, we didn't feel anything. But this is a human being who I dreamt about for 4 years since opening my chakras. And when I met them, my heart was like, whoa. And I felt blissful, and I felt connected with soul. And I had a lot of moments of just remembering what it is to feel complete and energetically. And that's something I'll post more about as well, about like visualizations you can do to just remember your own connection, that you'll always be okay, that like I had this sincere, profound, beautiful sense that all of us, all are going to go to heaven eventually, that heaven's eternal, it's already happening, and we're all just here in this like odd kind of moment of aligning ourselves with our higher soul so that the material really reflects the divinity that created it. And it's a lot to think about. It's a lot of words, and the concept is something else. And you can say the words without feeling the concept. But right now, like I feel highly aligned, and I'm grateful for that. And the concept I've been trying to wrap my head around for a while, but like a moment came today of like, yeah, oh yeah. And that's that and I'm still discovering, but I'm sharing this as we all do, and it's 211 right now. And 11 is like one of the signs. It's 81% battery that I have. I get these signs. 8 is significant, the figure 8 infinity symbol, which is in the dreams that I've had before, that beautifully, like other people I connect with also see the symbol in connection to this eternal journey back home. And lately I picture eternity, and I try to remember like what's this moment contributes to a larger story where all of our souls are complete. Walk with strength and flexibility. Divine masculine, divine feminine traits. Try to embody both wherever you are. Have faith in God, ultimate just faith in the universe and everything and everyone around you, circumstances and your own, and the opportunity to be fully aligned. So it's cool. Like eight is this great number that I get as symbolism, that I'm grateful for that symbolism because of the joy that it's brought me to. And 11 is this other symbol, and 8-3 would show up, and 8 plus 3 adds up to 11. And like the other crazy people of the world who have like these numbers that they're following, and like are connected to this sense of like there's an eternity beyond the present moment, and feel energetically free. Most importantly, feel clarity and feel energetic freedom. There's a moment, I think, in the spiritual journey where you kind of feel crazy, but you're recalibrating from the psychosis, the total insanity of being born into a world that's temporary, where people die and people suffer, and you're told that's it. That's not it. There's much more. We're all interconnected. There's much more. And so I feel really liberated and free. And these other people who also feel energetically liberated and free and have done the work, they see these numbers too, and they see 1111. It's a sign of ascension. It's a beautiful thing. And if you're watching this video, of course you're watching this video, I want you to know that you've been highly blessed. There's a reason that you're watching this, and that's that it's ascension right now. Ascension, we're returning home. You feel that? Do you feel that? I know you felt that. Chills, energy. Maybe it's 11:11 for you right now, 2:11. will be, and you'll see signs. So all these signs brought me to Bali, and there was this amazing human being who I've dreamt about, who didn't want to be with me, but it's okay. And in the dreams, I was shown this notion. I was told, this is your twin flame. This is the other half of your soul. And I had so much explained to me then. And at the time, I was in another relationship. And actually, this is a girl. This is an Indonesian girl. And I was in another relationship that I felt like this is a soulful relationship. Like I checked in with my higher self and I started seeing numbers, and actually our anniversary was March 8th, 3/8, and that's when I started seeing 3/8, which adds up to 11. And I thought all the time, like I moved with him to live in another country, and the day that I arrived, because he'd already been there in Singapore, the day that I arrived, I bought us dinner, and the bill was no other than $38.83. So random, but not random at all. Perfect. And I think, like you can say like, oh, you're just unconsciously looking for 8-3. I think we're all unconsciously aware that we're divine and we have free will and we're aligning. And I think it is a process where the more that you make conscious efforts to be aware of the greater picture, the spiritual picture, the healing that needs to take place, the actions that need to take place for healing to be felt, for our true nature, our brilliance, our connection of yin yang, masculine, feminine, strength and flexibility to create the spiritual earth and heavens, to create this world, spirit and body. And spirit and body I want to move to in a moment, because that's a very important one. That's kind of the epiphany I had earlier, but like I re-had, but like 3/8, as soon as you're like more conscious in your life, the easier it is to unconsciously make aligned choices. Like I did a lot of effort saying, universe, higher self, what should I do? Higher self, what should I do? And then I think I got really aligned that like when it came time for dinner, unconsciously, naturally, we ordered the foods that add up to 38.83. That's how it works. And the best is when you really aligned, when you met your twin, when you learn to just let the voice of God be an instinct and don't hate yourself if you think that you did and then you suffer. Just pause and have so much humility, because this is a process. So many people suffer. We're all human here, but so many people heal. We all heal. That's the point. We have eternity to figure it out. And during eternity, heaven's already happening. We can already smile and reset ourselves and meditate and ask God for guidance. And no matter how hard that feels, just trust that you can ask God. You can take the steps. You can ask the universe. So I have this amazing relationship, and we start dating like in the beginning, this 3/8, this guy that March 8th that I loved him. And in the beginning of our relationship, when we start dating, I'm having these, I feel like, wow, like I'm listening to my higher self. I'm seeing these number signs. I feel like the universe brought me to this guy, brought him to me. Like we just connected as like this amazing, like connection instantly. And it's special. And it reminds me that like, you're not alone. Like for the first time, I feel like I die for this person. Like I love him so much. And so, as well as loving him so much and realizing like I'm not alone in the world, like there's another human being that's not my family, that's not my friends that I just grew up with, even though they're beautiful people, but like that's just like another soul that I found, that I would do anything for. I mean, not that that's even necessarily so different from feeling that for family or for friends, because we all just need each other. We're all here, literally, we're all interconnected. But just to be me in this world and have that much love for another person in this world, that like is profound. It's amazing. You feel like, oh, I'm equally excited to live here with another person. Like I'm sorry. Yeah, like it feels like I'm not just here at random. Like there's a person here that I would do anything for. And that's a cool feeling. Attachment is a sin though. And that's really a weird feeling. That's a weird concept to get used to. And it's a sin in the sense like, actually my ex is the one that made this joke. I said like, I think something's a sin. He's like, I don't think it's a sin. And I'm like, well, it sure, it feels like, we both laughed. Like, it feels like a sin. If it feels bad, that basically is the sin. Like that's the signature of being a sin, is so that something feels bad. It it's already like a sin, like painful, like not like there's necessarily a rule, but just it's painful. And when you're attached to something, that can create so much pain. And that's the odd tragedy of humanity, is that like everyone we know dies or suffers or witnesses death and suffering. And so you love someone so much, but you see them leave, but yet there's a larger process taking place. And this concept that the world is eternal, that there's processes we can go through that are less processed to reach a balance where we're ready to like live at this eternal speed, this vibration of something higher and something healthier through our free will. I'm still totally humble to it because I'm still discovering it, but I'm noticing patterns between the knowledge that I hold on to, first through experimentation, then through simply that it works, so I keep it. Like, oh, those numbers, if I see those numbers, 4-4 means work harder, 3-8 means like, you're doing good, Micah, keep this up. And I feel good. And my world kind of does. Like, I don't listen to 4-4, shit gets hard. I listen to 4-4, change some habits up, things get easier. In profound ways beyond what I could ever picture. Solutions come just beyond, healing comes, clarity comes beyond. So I'm still just kind of experimenting, and the clarity is coming, and I'm grateful to the universe. That's all I have. I think that's kind of what this post is about, but this video. But I want to share. I want every soul, every person to like follow your heart and trust it, and like, yeah, sometimes your heart, you'll feel hurt, but like trust it, because there is a profound healing that takes place. And the few of us, I'm meditating daily on picturing every soul independent and free and at ease, but I'm still conscious that I meet people that are suffering, and it would be ignorant to say that they're not. It would be really ignorant to not meditate on picturing healing and just our pure connection with the divine for ourselves. Because we trust the universe to fix itself. We trust others are as strong and as amazing and as divine and free will aligned to get there as we do ourselves. But we have to take those actions, and that's the fight between strength and flexibility. Flexibility of faith in the others to do their work, strength to do our work. And my work's been like these number signs, these dreams, like have faith in them, and then, oh my God. So today I'm thinking like, I met this girl from these dreams. So I admit it's been 13 minutes and 11 seconds of recording. And 11 means so much to me. 3 is also a good number, 3-8. Now it's been 13 minutes and 18 seconds. But anyways, and it's not just like, sometimes I see it on car license plates, bills, like I said, clothing, like everywhere. But so my ex-boyfriend, I started seeing 3-8. I started feeling this divine connection. Now it's been 13 minutes and 38 seconds, whatever, of filming. But I started feeling this divine connection. And then I didn't want to break up with him. When I felt in my gut, like, break up with him, the same intensity of, like, break up as I did when we first started dating, of date him, I feel like break up with him. I didn't want to listen to my higher self. And I didn't. And that got me some trouble. And I can talk about that. But only when we broke up did I start to feel a little bit lighter, a little bit more like, okay, I can love this person and I can be okay and I can carry that love with me. And like, that's just how this world is, that people die and people leave you. And I don't think that's the full reality, because you're carrying a sense of love. You're remembering heaven on earth. You're completing your soul. We're all walking one another home. I'm still figuring it out, but it matters. Like, capturing the love you feel in a person and extending it to all in your mind and your heart. It's where meditation can come in and be beautiful. It's where doing the work outside can enable you to feel something beautiful in the meditation. But, and I think as many transcendent activities as possible, it's more important to just try to like dance and feel like free than to process mentally all the stuff that could take place before we're free, because heaven is eternal again, and it's really ultimately about God. All of us have the free will to balance ourselves out and find God, which is a feeling beyond processing. It's a transcendent energetic experience. We're all energy. We're all interconnected. We're all interconnected. That's what the real twin flame story is about. That's what eternity truly is. It's this eternal energetic connection between spirit and energy, matter. So, between spirit and matter. So I would see 3-8 with this guy all the time. And meanwhile, I'd have these dreams explaining, and I felt like, wow, it's a spiritual connection. Like, I'm so proud of myself because I'm listening to God, and look, God brought me this cool guy that I love. But I had these dreams about this girl. And in these dreams about this girl, I dreamt that she's my other half of my soul. And I felt totally, really, really happy when I woke up from them. Like, it made sense. And I was told that, like, our whole lives, for all these different lifetimes, one of us would be in spirit, one of us would be in body. We would take turns. The spirit world is all made up of energy. Feels better there. You're closer to God. Angels, different forms. There could be ghosts, but energy. And the spirit world's all in communications with one another to make the physical world move smoothly. The physical world is what? People, but like, I eat food from the ground. We could have really processed cycles that don't need to take place, like processed foods that we eat, and then like somebody's working like feeling like enslaved, like their soul's not free. It doesn't really do much for their heart, but they're just like working, making products, selling it, not insulting anyone. But there's difference. There are feelings, there are emotions, there is a higher truth to this experience of being in a world where we all interact and we're all alive, and we feel alive sometimes, or we feel dead and we feel sick. And, you know, coming into your spiritual truth of your eternal connection to all, that enlivens you. Even though it means accepting the fact that you'll die, accepting the fact that you can't be attached to what you seem like, and that whatever you see is connected to you also. And we all should be feeling joy, energy, balance between the spirit and the matter, the death and the life. Fearlessness, just aligned. And, you know, like, we are conscious co-creators. We are part of this divinity. Like the same way we eat fruit from the earth, and then like our bodies go back into the ground to create more fruit. We are like, yeah, like our bodies, our lives, our thoughts, our consciousness, we're free will, our choices. And there's a bliss when your free will aligns with what the universe needed. Our choices impact something larger, and we are the fruits of the earth that are feeding the next generations and feeding the world around us. So we have to be so aware of choices we make. And that's why, like, there's karma, like, oh, I did this and then I wasn't aware of what I was doing and it hurts me. There's karma from past lives. I wasn't thinking of my higher self. I didn't even realize that I did this, but I did, and it really hurts me. And then there's this profound sense of being connected to the world and serving. And at first it's hard to break into that. And then it's easy. It's the most blissful thing in the world. Something like dance, easy to do, blissful. Sometimes it's slower though, it's service. But like, so many systems don't need to take place. Like, we don't need to be selling cheeseburgers and eating cheeseburgers and making cheeseburgers. We don't need that. We don't need to kill the animals. We don't need to have the processed bread. We don't need it. We don't need it. And it's ironic because then what? You're left with the elements. So what? You eat fruit? That's still living. But this world was given to us by something larger that we're part of, and the give-receive of life, the yin-yang, is something just profoundly beyond us. And that was the realization I had today of like, so then when I met this ex, I had these dreams about this girl in Indonesia. And the dreams, it was all explained to me what I'm saying, just that we're all interconnected, and we have these past lives, and we're born over and over again, and we're kind of like, we have the spirit world like whispering in our ear, telling us like what to do that's likely to have the best outcome for all beings. And the spirits communicate with each other and whisper it. And you get a gut feeling, and you know. And then the physical world of like people having free will opportunities to listen. And so then there is an opportunity to be born at the same time as your twin and to ascend. And a lot of twins, and I had this dream telling me this, like a lot of twins are being born now, and there's ascension taking place, and that's why people are seeing the numbers 1111. And it's a profound opportunity to just become energy when we do enough movement, enough of the right actions that are aligned. And I felt like when I first had these dreams about this Indonesian girl, I like woke up so happy, like so happy. Like, I just had this profound sense that everything happens for a reason. God exists, and we're all going to go to heaven one day. It made so much sense to my heart. And I saw her family, and I saw her life, and I saw her. But then I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, I'm a human self. I'm so blissfully happy. It all makes sense. But I'm like, really? And I remember thinking like I've worked hard to adjust, not just wanting things. Like sometimes you can kind of want something manifest and it feels like, oh, magical. But a lot of times you just learn to have strength to do what you don't want, because you realize there's a profound joy that comes from recognizing that what you didn't want, but you felt you had to do, benefited the world in a way you couldn't even see that you feel a joy from. And so I woke up and I was like, if I don't actually have to, like, if I actually can just manifest this world, as I sometimes feel when things are so flowing and aligned, it feels like, oh, I'm just making everything up because I'm so aligned with what the universe would want me to do. It's all coming. It's all great. I feel beautiful, brilliant, smart, wonderful. Everyone around me is beautiful, brilliant, smart, wonderful. And if I could do that, I don't want a girl as my twin. Please, please, God, I don't want a girl. I do not want an Indonesian girl. Even though in the dreams I was shown, this person is you. And I'll talk more about that. I was shown this person is you. This person, anyone you meet, if you meet someone who you really love, what does that mean? It means that they respect the universe and they show you something about compassion, something that's missing in you. Something that's missing in you, because if it's just there's so much like you, maybe you don't necessarily like feel that. But the people in general, like there are people, and a lot of times they have similar qualities, and the similar qualities are just that they know how to navigate through life in different ways and are conscious of the others and feel connected. They don't feel like individuals. Those people represent whole communities. They represent all their ancestors. They represent all the people that they're in touch with. They synchronize. They listen to higher will, which is hard to say, because then what about the other people? But the other people we're all getting there. So in the dream, I was shown like anyone you could really like admire and love is just. It's just a sign of what you need to work on in your own life to be that kind of person. You don't need to just rely on someone like that. You don't need to feel bad if someone like that doesn't love you. You need to be that person and really love yourself. And then I was shown, like I could date someone and like would I stay with them when it gets tough? Maybe you wouldn't, but you have to stay with yourself when it gets tough. And sometimes it does. And sometimes no one's there for you, but God is always there. And eventually, and it's beautiful when you listen to God and you're there for other people and you feel this like purpose in life. Like I was born for a reason. They were born for a reason. We look at us. And so I was shown like your twin is someone who is you. You can't deny it. You can't. Sometimes I feel profoundly like, oh, God exists. I love everyone, but I can't help everyone. I can't stay with somebody who, with their free will, is not ready to change in certain ways. Maybe I cannot want to change in ways that I have to change and really want to stay with somebody. But I have to move forward and be happy eventually. And a certain happiness does come from acknowledging like God does exist and we're all going to heal. There's certain lightness. We can't suffer just because suffering exists. Sometimes it's impossible not to feel sad. And those are signs, and those are worth acknowledging. And it's ignorant not to. That's hard to say when you feel like think positively, have faith in God, but there's a difference between thinking positively, like knowing what to do, and thinking positively, like having a limited view of what's acceptable in a world where we're all divine and we're all on our journeys. And so I realized like this person is you. You can't deny loving them. You could have been born them, and you just admire everything they've been through. And I was shown everything she's been through, my twin, to like be who she is, like this strong, amazing girl who's just like brilliant, who's met every challenge in her life to align with faith, who's so beautifully loving. But the love, like, I wouldn't want to take the journey because the journey is painful. I would because if it has to happen, it does, and that's divine. But I just admire her, and I just want everyone to feel bliss, like anyone I love. So that makes me feel like, oh, if I can't love anyone for reasons, because I don't want anyone to suffer. And the people that I love often are people that I admire for like the suffering they've been through and they've overcome it. But like everyone's going to overcome suffering. So there's no limit to who you can love. There is a limit to who accesses something in your heart, who you feel like you can be walking one another home to God together simultaneously. And there's the times when you don't feel anything in your heart. And there's times when you just have to ask for faith and you just find a way to keep going, to find love for yourself and for the ones that you're with at a balanced pace. There's a need for a balance between self-evolution and tending to the evolution of the world. And really, the profound feeling that I had today was like, okay, so I followed the universe and I met this girl and she's a real human being and I really admire her because I had these dreams about this girl and I thought, oh, please, please, God, I don't want to be in love with her. I don't want her to be in love with me. And then years later, recently I meet her and I'm in love and she doesn't love me back. And the only thing I can take from my love for this person that doesn't love me back, my sense that I love them, my attachment to them, is that really I'm attached to all the growth that she's done. But there's no way for me to be attached to that, like I said, because it's just stuff I have to work on in my life so that I can be the best person possible, the most aligned. And to me, she's perfect, but I know perfection exists. And you know what else? I only know this perfection exists because somebody that I could never, ever believe that I would like love. Like, she's not anyone that I would, now it's been 26 minutes, 11 seconds recording, but she's not anyone like that in the early days of being born, I would have said, like, I want to fall in love with a girl from Indonesia. I mean, she's just not somebody that you'd expect. You know, she's not somebody that society would have told me, like, it's logical. And yet, I feel like I did a lot of self-work to become someone who, like, listens to my gut. And in so many instances of listening to my gut and following numbers and doing what felt right for me, sometimes I was like, am I crazy? But no, I feel like there is, like, divine guidance showing me what to do in life. And I was so rewarded in this world. Like, so, like, I would mirror back wonderful experiences just from having faith in what to do, how to act different ways. And the real wonder is feeling joy wherever you are. But sorry, that's kind of a more complicated point that I can bring up another time about feeling joy wherever you are, because here's this person that's so brilliant to me. But I followed my heart, and I realized, like, you have to, and I realized, like, that makes you happy. And I went all the way to Indonesia and I met this real human being, and, like, even if they don't love me, they exist. And they're exactly like the person I dreamt of. And not only do they exist, and not only are they exactly like the person I dreamt of, I'm head over heels feeling love. So all I can do, literally all I can do, is feel like holy. And the reason I feel love is because I feel like, holy shit, like I've already said, like, the reason I feel love is I feel like, holy shit, you're so aligned with God. You're so capable of getting through anything in life, any challenge, and you are so capable of infinitely providing for those around you. Even when there's no sign that it's necessarily going to work out, you do your best to be, like, really evenly, like, you listen and you help. And you're just the ultimate proof of God to me. Like, your life is the ultimate proof of God to me, because you are God for people around you, is what I feel like. And you're just a testament to following through and having faith, and the kind of person that comes from that. Like, you're just so strong and so full of love. But you've had pain, and we all have pain, and you've had to learn to see the good in everyone. You treat them so amazingly. Like, you just seem so aligned in your interactions with people and able to, like, help them. Like, you listening, you know what to do. That just sparks this freedom, this independence, this soul completion in others. So I love the world because of you. I feel like I can connect with the world because of you. And at the same time, and I feel like, oh my God, I want to be a better person. And at the same time, and better is what? Listening to intuition. And at the same time, better is what? Listening to intuition, because you're proof to me that God exists, that if you listen to your intuition, great things happen. And at the same time, my intuition brought me to you, and you don't want to be with me. And so I feel like I love myself. So at first I felt pain, like, oh, I'm not good enough for this person. And then I felt strength, extraordinary strength, because I felt like, wait a minute, my intuition, I worked so hard to develop my intuition. It brought me to this person who's a real person, who my intuition, my dreams, my spirit told me I would love, and I do. So all I can do moving forward is continue to have faith in that and have gratitude. And I can't even comprehend that I can feel this level of joy and health in a world that is confusing, where there is so much suffering, where the reason that I would love someone is because people suffer profoundly. And so now it's been 30 minutes, 11 seconds of recording, and it's 2:38 numbers. But like, so there's nothing to say. Like, I will, I'll focus on writing this book that I'm writing about the twin flame experience, and I will focus on meditation and yoga as much as possible. But even that, like, I'm just grateful that I have an activity that feels profound, that I feel connected to something divine, that I feel faith in the world. And I'm just grateful. I can't explain anything else, because pain can be so profoundly terrible. I can't explain anything else except that I've learned to listen, and I feel like I can love myself and I can love others, and I can effectively, only through faith, stay there, stay balanced in that special space. And like, I've been reading a book about 5D versus 3D, and just learning to like really feel like what is heaven? Heaven wouldn't actually be being with her. And I couldn't actually be with her because she's a representation of the whole community she takes care of. So the best way to be with her is to be her, to take care of my community. But like, heaven is just feeling at one with the community. And so if I don't see her, if I don't get confirmation she loves me, my human person's like, don't say that out loud, Micah. But in the past, I begged not to even have her be my twin. And now I feel like, oh my God, you're perfect. So all I can have is faith, and all you can have is faith. And hopefully we all get there, because where would faith take us? It would take us to the freedom, the harmony of just this beyond profound feeling. And that is real. That's as real as it gets. We're all born here, and we all want the best. And sometimes we're suffering, and sometimes we're not. And we sometimes don't understand why we're suffering while those around us are suffering, why death takes place. But faith, and you don't have to term it faith, but like, creative efforts, they take us there, they take us somewhere. They allow us to be okay. And being okay, like, it's a precious balance between the material and the personal, because you take too much time falling aside, you feel kind of crazy around other people. But ultimately, other people are the signs. Like, other people choose to say something at the exact right moment, unconsciously but aligned, and it reflects back to you something beautiful. And at the same time, while the most spiritual thing is to pay attention to the material world and to your material self, the most material thing is to pay attention to spirit, because where did all the materials come from? What inspires great thoughts that inspire something that reflects something wonderful? And maybe that's personal, the feeling of wonder. But I think ultimately, every person, where do we come from? It's something else. So 33 minutes and 11 seconds, I end this. I send you love. I know that however crazy and inferior and painful you feel is gone, because hey, we're in this together. Like, I'm making this video with full faith that I'm allowed to sound kind of crazy, because I feel clear. And you're allowed to feel kind of crazy, because you're going to be clear. And it's okay not to know, because we do know God's protecting us. There is this constant balance to be back home. And, I'm just profoundly grateful that my spirit, my dreams, my signs led me to a physical human that is the most spiritually evolved reflection of material, caring for others, being beautiful, perfection, mastery. So just keep trusting. You're not alone. And wherever you are, pay attention. Listen to yourself. Listen to the world. See what opens your heart. Have faith. And we're all going to be fine. In fact, this is ascension. No pressure, but meditate, dance. Be honest. Tell your boss that you're sorry, but the business has no consciousness. And you really, truthfully want everyone to be okay. And you have faith we all can be. Whatever your heart says, keep going. Take baby steps if you need to. Move back and then move forward. But have faith. Because I promise that God exists. There's an eternal realm. There's this realm. And there's a way to escape the pains that can come with this realm. And all the mental clutter. there's something else happening. Take time, ask your angels for guidance. Yeah, ask your angels for guidance. I can feel someone listening may need to ask their angels for guidance. Probably me. But someone listening, I can feel that you do need to ask your angels for guidance. You had a connection in the past and maybe you lost it. Love you all. Bye. Namaste.